Hello and welcome to Soul Sensations. Today I am chatting with singer, songwriter and Grammy Award winner Chubby Tavares of the hit group Tavares. Hello Chubby.
How you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing great, mate. It's been a while since we spoke, isn't it? About 3 years?
Yes, exactly. That's when I came out with my first solo with Fresh Stained Glass.
Yeah. So, I tell you what we'll do. We'll run over a few things because of certain people who tuned in now might not know your background. So what we'll do is, if you want to tell us a little bit about your background, about your childhood, where you were born, something along those lines. Can you do that?
We can do that.
So where were you born?
I was born in Providence, Rhode Island.
I'm not going to say what year. We'll keep that quiet. And what was it like growing up there? What was it like growing up there?
Well, being brought up with 9 other children, my mother had 10 children. She had 3 girls and 7 boys.
Wow.
The girls all came first, and then the 7 brothers all came after.
That's a massive family.
Yes, and Providence, Rhode Island was, when we were brought up, it was a tough life because our dad was he was an entertainer, but he wasn't like a well-known entertainer, but he was in the area. The thing was with him, he's the one that we have to say gave us the gift, of being great singers, and my dad was the number one guy.
So, who were you influenced? Sorry, go ahead.
Being brought up in the day when you had groups as like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Temptations, the Four Tops. We thrived off those kind of groups, but in those days it was more doo-wop for us. I mean, the Hop Tones, the Flamingos. This is how we learned all of our harmony.
Yeah, I remember talking to Robert Gordy Jr. about doo-wop and all those times and that sort of music. Doo-wop wasn't, I was going to say, not to blame, but was some of the basis. It was doo-wop and gospel, wasn't it, really? Then that sort of formulated into the sort of sound that was going on nowadays. Is that correct? Or am I missing it a bit? Well,
the thing about gospel, it was people who went to church, that learned the gospel singing. We never learned we never got our criticism from church. We always got it from the street. It was about doo-wop. When you heard the Hop Tones and the Flamingos and the Cadillacs, we had an older brother who was solely into doo-wop. He just loved the doo-wop era.
Yeah.
And his name is John. He's the one who said, what we need to do, he says, we got six other guys beside me. We need to learn that basic good strength. He said that you usually have a 3 or 4-part harmony, but you never have a 7-part harmony. So he said what we'll do is we'll have one guy singing in an octave higher and an octave lower. And we put that together with the other harmony parts, and it just blended in so great. Even until today, we are probably one of the best harmonizing groups going.
I would totally agree with you there, to be honest, I would. So tell me how it all started back in 1959.
Well, in 59, my dad was, he actually sang a form of a different kind of culture. He was a Cape Verdean, Cape Verdean is a Portuguese descent. That was the kind of music that he sang. And but he rock and roll wasn't his thing, but he still was always there for us. And he said, I'm going to start you guys singing. We were doing like little tea functions and stuff like that. And at that time it was called the Fox Point Boys Club. It wasn't a boys-girls club because in those days they only had a boys club.
Right.
Years down the line it became a boys-girls club. So my dad was the one who brought us to these places, and we would sit and We would sing. He decided to take us to a little community TV show called Russ Emery Show. And I can remember the song that we sang was called Shaboom.
Ah, yeah, I remember that track. Shaboom, shaboom.
Yeah, shaboom. Ding dong, shaboom, bado, 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 baday. And that's what, I mean, we went over well, and this is where we started, doing teas, doing picnics. They used to have outdoor picnics, and my dad his band would be playing there. None of us at the time sang the kind of songs my dad sang, but he would mix it up and bring us on stage, and we would sing songs like Shaboom. We would sing Sway. There was like a lot of old songs that my dad knew how to play because he also played guitar. Yeah. So from there, we started out in 59. My brother Ralph actually decided he was going to go into the service. Right. And when he went into the service, 61, from that time on in, I formed my own group, which I called Chubby and the Realities, which was just a 4-piece group. It was a bass guitar, and drums. Yep. And 2 of the guys who played in the group were brothers, George and Benny Duwat. And then we had a guy named Paul Joya who played, he played the drums. Yeah. And we used to do all the local picnics, and the name Chubby in Realities was the name of the group. Yeah, 61, my brother Ralph got out of the service. Yeah. And we were still called Chubby in the Realities. I had actually brought my brother Pooch into the group with me. And we worked quite a while with just me and him and the 3-piece band. And when my brother Ralph got out of the service, we continued on. We brought in Butch, and then we decided we were going to go to New York and try to see if we could land a deal. Well, in 1963, we hooked up with it was a subsidiary of Capitol Records. And the guy's name was Marvin Holstrom. He didn't like the name of the group Chubby and the Realities, so he changed it to Chubby and the Turnpikes. Absolutely going up, Turnpikes. Right. And the Turnpikes we had a couple of great songs that we did in that time, and they were hits, but they were hits just in the New England area of the United States. And it wasn't getting us to where we wanted to go. We wanted to go further in our careers. Yeah. My brother Butch ended up getting married to Lola Falana. All right. In 1971, and she was doing a tour in Italy. So she brought us there as her opening act. And people in Italy, they don't know anything about a turnpike. Right. What is a turnpike? It's an autobahn to them. Yeah. So my brothers and I, all of us got together and decided that we're going to change the name of the group to our family name, which was Tavares. Tavares. So what was your first, let's get this right in sequence. So what was the first record deal you had with Capitol, and how did you get the first record actual deal? Well, we had gone into a studio in Chicago with Jerry Butler. Yes, that's Jerry Butler. Yeah, and Jerry Butler, we did a song on his label called, it wasn't a label, it was just going in the studio and doing a demo. And we did a demo on the song called Check It Out. Right. And the song was, we never did anything with it. And then we had a guy named Brian Piniella, who was a district sales manager for Capitol Records, who was looking for us all over, because by that time we had moved to the east side, the south side of Providence. Yeah. And it's to be called South Providence. And he was at a record store that he always went in, and he asked the guy if anybody knew Tavares. And they said, yeah, they live right up the street. So we hooked up with Brian, and Brian wanted to know if we were still singing. We said yes. And we mentioned to him that we had a demo of the song, Check It Out. And he took that song and brought it to Capitol Records in Los Angeles, and that's where it all started.
That's where it all started.
That was our first single in 1973. Check It Out. Come to find out, that song Check It Out was co-written by a guy that my brother Pooch went to school with named Billy Osborne. Osborne, yeah. Jeffrey Osborne's brother.
I was going to say Jeffrey Osborne's brother.
Yeah.
Now, the 70s brought you the start of what would be your, how can I put it, the major success of Tavares. But there's a certain track, Remember What I Told You to Forget.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, incidentally, right, that track, would you believe, and I'm telling the truth here, is the most requested ballad on Soul Radio USA during the Smooth session.
And you know something, even here in the States, when we do that song, people just go bananas over that song.
Yeah, they do.
And that song was actually done before us. That was done by the Four Tops.
Right, yeah.
And
so who was it written by?
Right, it was an album cut, and they never did anything with it. And it wasn't basically like ours. And even now I talk to one of my best friends in the group, the Four Tops, who's the only living survivor of the Four Tops, Duke. And Duke said, that Remember What I Told You to Forget, he says, what a great rendition you guys did on that song.
It's a beautiful track. I think you should re-release it, actually, to tell you the truth. I think you should re-release it on your second album.
Uh-huh.
I think you should do that. Now, you do a lot of work with another friend of mine, Preston Glass. How did you both meet?
Preston Glass was actually looking to, he wanted to produce the whole group.
Right.
And but some kind of confliction came down with, business things, which people don't understand the backbones of the business today. The business is not an easy business anymore.
No,
and it got kind of thrown out of proportion, and that got wiped out. But Preston and I kept in touch, and Preston said, I've been sitting listening to the 12, 14 albums that Tavares have had. He says, and I've noticed that out of the songs that, he says, 75% of the leads were done by you. He said, I want to concentrate on doing something, and he said, would you like to do a solo project with me? And Preston and I, from there on in, this is what we got. I mean, this is, we're going into my second solo CD with Preston.
Yeah, we'll keep that to the second part of the interview, because we've got a lot to cover on that one. So going back into your career, 1977, the film Saturday Night Fever. Who approached you to appear on the soundtrack, or was it just down to management, or how did it all come about?
Well, what happened was our manager Brian Pinella hooked it up with he had a great friend that worked in Capitol Records. His name was Al Corey, and Al Corey was doing some work with the producer of Robert Stigwood.
Robert Stigwood, yeah.
Yeah, and they got together, and they actually wanted us to open for the Bee Gees in Madison Square Garden. And we seen these three guys sitting while we were having a sound check. Three guys sitting out in the front, just watching us while we were rehearsing. And our manager finally came to us after. He says, the Bee Gees would like to meet you. I didn't even know who these guys were. They were all just sitting there, just listening. We thought they were roadies.
Yeah, just all you see is these raw teeth, raw teeth smiling at you.
and we finally, Brian finally came to us. He says, these guys, Barry Gibbs would like to meet you guys. So we went in and we met them. And Barry says, I have a great song for you guys. He says, I think you guys could do a great job on it. And that was More Than a Woman.
And actually that went to get a Grammy, didn't it?
Yeah, well, they got us best album of the year.
So, do you ever perform with the Bee Gees for tours during that time, or did you just have that and that was it? And went to the
we did that one tour with them, and then we hadn't heard from them in years. After we did the song Saturday, they decided they were going to put the whole Bee Gee thing into the Saturday Night Fever project. And More Than a Woman was involved in that because they worked out a deal between RSO and Capitol. Because then Al Corey had switched and went from Capitol, and he became the president of RSO.
Yes.
So they worked out the deal where we would go in and do the song More Than a Woman. Now, at the time, our song wasn't ready for the movie.
No.
So they said, well, let's just use the Bee Gees demo and put it in the spot where we want it to go. Once Tavares is ready, then we can just take theirs out and put Tavares in.
Right.
Well, that didn't actually happen, and this is what you get the politics of business, and they wanted to keep theirs in. That's why we have two versions of More Than a Woman.
That's what I was going to say. That's why there's two versions of the album. Now, a lot of people would have loved to know that, because it was a little why the two versions of the one track on the same album, and you just answered. That's brilliant. Now, more music from you. You are were you the main writer for Tavares? Or did
no,
you
I wasn't. Actually, we had a guy who has passed now. His name was Freddie Perrin.
Right, okay.
Freddie Perrin is the one who wrote Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel.
Yeah.
And that, between that song and the song that came out just before, which was It Only Takes a Minute, is actually what started us in our disco career, as they call it.
Yeah, the disco. Now, I blame Studio 54 for that. But they're the ones that penned the name discotheque, wasn't it? It was some DJ that was half, I think he was half drunk or something. He goes, oh, it's a discotheque. He goes, what's that? Yeah.
Yeah, so you're talking about the 70s. Everything was wild and crazy, People enjoyed getting up and dancing. This is what it was all about, And that disco kind of stuck on us. That, people hear us and they go, oh, yeah, I know that group, but they're a disco group. And we're not a disco group. We are an R&B soul group.
That's it. I keep on trying to explain that to people. They say we're going disco music. It's like, no, it's not disco music. It's either R&B soul, or or TSOP.
Exactly, but people they just don't put it with the other thing. At that time, it was a fling. People wanted to dance, so they ended up labeling it as disco music. Donna Summers, everybody who did songs in those days, it was disco.
That's a disco. And it was all wrong. But it was, for the time, the period, it was probably right at the time, but not now. Right.
But I'm saying, it was, let's face it, it was good music.
It was brilliant music. It was, it's second to none. I play loads of it still today. And when I'm chatting with Jerry Cummings from Harold Melvin, I'm always playing the TSOP, the soul, the R&B. It's timeless. It's not going to go away.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I'm very proud of what Tavares have done throughout the years. It's been just one of the greatest things that happened because it opened a lot of doors for us. I mean, even though, we continuously work with the Four Tops and Temptations. Yeah. We're actually appearing in the UK from November 20th to
November
the 29th.
Yeah.
Right, we have a tour with them, a 7-day tour with the Four Tops and the Temps. Yeah. And people, when we do that, I mean, Tavares is still very, very big. Yeah, still very, very big in the UK,
massive.
you know.
Yeah, massive.
Yes. And the Temptations, actually, myself and Otis Williams, we were talking about the last time. I said, you know something? This it's so peculiar because to see Tavares, the Temps, and the Tops, I said, what that comes out to is dynamite. TNT.
Yeah, no, look at it that way. But the thing is, that's also crossing both barriers. That's your Motown and also your R&B and soul music.
Yeah,
I don't think it's been done.
I mean, we are blessed to have these guys who really appreciate the group Tavares, and you know, to actually go and open the show for them. And we couldn't ask for better people to work with.
No. I would actually go as far as to say, even before I met you, Chubby, and before I even started all this radio station and everything, when I started up DJing, really years ago, I classed Tavares, all right, alongside the Tramps and Hal Melvin as the best, I'm going to say it, disco groups of the 70s.
Yeah, well, and this is what it was. I mean,
that was it.
Yeah, and we got that label as a disco group, and people, they look back and they say, oh yeah, we remember that group because they were a disco group, but they don't really realize that we were a good rhythm and blues
group.
Right.
See, the problem you've got nowadays, though. Yeah, but there's a problem nowadays because I class myself as an R&B soul DJ, TSOP, and but over the past, I think it's 10 years or 15 years, there's a different type of R&B out there called rhythm and bass, which is totally thrown everybody. Because, oh, you're an R&B DJ, yeah. Oh, blah blah. And, no, this is R&B. You know what I mean? And I'm off on a limb. It's like, oh no, that's like, well, times change. Right, I tell you what we're going to do, Chubby. We're going to have a little break. I'm going to put some of your music, and then we'll continue this interview on and talk about all of your solo career and your new ventures that are coming up. How does that sound?
That sounds great to me.
Right, mate. I'll catch you in about 15 minutes' time.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to it.
Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of our exclusive interview with Chubby Tavares, singer, songwriter, and Grammy Award winner of the group Tavares. Right. Welcome back, Chubby.
Thank you, Stephen. It's nice to be back.
Now, in the first part, we covered off the early days and, of course, the main not should say disco days of Tavares, but R&B and soul days. And now we're going to chat about your solo career. All right.
Okay.
Now, tell me about the first. Now, I remember 3 years ago I interviewed you about your first track. Knock Me Down.
The first one with Preston, but I had one just before that, which actually didn't do too much. It was with Saul Davis and Carla. And Saul Davis. That was called Jealousy.
Right.
And the album should have gone much further than what it did, but it's it's difficult when you don't have the promotion behind. This day and age, there's no more big record labels. Nobody's putting money behind to do promotional work.
That's
you
true.
have to You have to go out there and work the project yourself. And it's very difficult to do. If you're not getting radio play, and then the radio play went from regular radio stations, now it's the website.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to get a song in for people. If people don't hear it, they're not going to buy it.
Well, that's one of the main reasons why I set up Soul Radio USA for artists like yourself and Jerry, who are bringing out tracks, and they just need that extra boost to get it out there, you know. And that's the whole point of it. It's good. It's what
now, see, we're
doing it.
Right now, we're hooked up with a guy that is fantastic, Nigel Lowe's.
Right. Oh yeah.
In the UK, and I mean, we sent him "Can't Knock Me Down."
Yeah.
He did a different version on it, you know, and I mean, the song was like, I don't know, it was on the charts for like 6 or 7 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
And now he's revised it and gone in and did "Smile."
Right.
And I couldn't ask for a better song to be on the charts right now, because at this time of what's going on in this world, in this country, people need to put a little smile in their lives.
I was going to say, what your new single is called "Smile," and what was the reason behind releasing it? Is that the sole reason that you just want to bring back some happiness?
Not really. It's 1954. I won't give you my age, but my mom was madly in love with Nat King Cole.
Right. Who's my mom?
Nat King Cole. Right. Nat King Cole came out with "Smile" in 1954.
Yeah.
And my mom, that's all she did was walk around the house singing "Smile." She just thought that was the best thing since sliced bread. And Nat King Cole was her all-time favorite. And I said, one day, I'm going to end up doing that song. And it came to me, and I told Preston, I said, Preston, I had a song that my mom was, I mean, when she was a younger lady, she just loved that song, "Smile." And Preston and I put it together and went in the studio, and then we sent it to Nigel, and he put the beat to it.
Yeah.
And he put all the instrumentation to it. I mean, the song, to me, I think is one of the most fantastic songs in the world, and it says something.
Yes.
You know?
Well, when I first received it from you, a couple of weeks ago now, you emailed me and you said, "Oh, Steve, tell me what you think." And I never replied for about, 2 or 3 days, did I not? It knocked me off my seat, honestly. It's such a beautiful track. I thought, wow, because I like Nat King Cole's version as well. But that's the bass line that's underneath it. It's just a beautiful track. It is brilliant.
And, you know, we owe it all to Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, yeah.
Charlie Chaplin's the one that wrote the melody.
Was it Charlie Chaplin?
Yes.
I always thought it was Cole Porter.
No, it was Charlie Chaplin. He's the one who wrote the... Yes. Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
Chaplin. And I mean, I go back and think about it, and it was just told to me that how Michael Jackson loved that song so much because it meant something to his family, to his mom.
Yes.
And that was one of his favorite songs that he said that he ever recorded. And like I said, both him and Nat King Cole did it in a ballad. Right. And me and Preston wanted to do something different with it. And Preston's the one that came up with the idea of doing it almost in, if you want to go back to saying, into a disco flavor.
Yes, yeah. But a slow beat, not a fast beat.
Right, but it's something that people sit and listen to, and they can dance to it, you know. And to me, I just think it's one of, you know, this is my second solo CD with Preston. Can't Knock Me Down was a great CD, but this next one that I got coming out is going to surpass them all. Right.
Would you like to tell us about your next CD, because it's released tomorrow? So what was the concept of it?
The concept of it was because, you know, everyone with age gets up. To me, it's just a number. I mean, I've been singing for 40-some-odd years now. And as long as the good Lord upstairs gives me the help and to be able to perform and perform to people and give them meaningful songs,
Yeah.
And Preston and I just collaborated where we call each other brothers from another mother.
Yeah.
You know, and Preston and I, there's not one thing that Preston does with me that we don't elaborate and come up with something great. Preston is, to me, one of the best.
He's very talented, Preston. He's very, very talented.
Oh, he's talented.
Well, he's still producing his own stuff now, isn't he? He's got his own albums out now as well.
Yeah, well, and this is the whole thing. The concept of the new CD that's coming out called Amazing Ride.
Uh-huh.
Because it's been an amazing ride for me. You know, it's like it's some of the things in life has its ups, some of them have its downs. You know, and Preston and I just collaborated and got these songs that are so fantastic, man. I just I go to bed with my earphones on, listening to the final mix, and it's like my girlfriend sits next to me and she says, "God," she says, "you're up all night and she said you fall asleep and you're still humming the song in your sleep." No,
I was going to say, if you were married, it would have been a divorce case, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, but it's a CD that I could sit and listen to over and over and over again.
Well, it's getting released tomorrow. Where can they get it from?
You can actually go to Amazon. With CD Baby.
Yeah. Is it available on iTunes?
iTunes, yep. Matter of fact, that's what Amazing Ride. Smile was released on iTunes. That was one of the first places they started downloading it from iTunes. You know, so we're looking for a big smash. I've got a couple of songs on there that I think, to me, are one of the most fantastic. One of them is called Still Blessed. Yeah. Still Blessed, to me, out of the whole album, I love the whole album, but Still Blessed and Amazing Ride are probably, oh God, they're just like, that I did a duet with a lady named Patty Brooks.
Patty Brooks. Yeah.
Yes.
So you did a duet with Patty Brooks. And
I did a duet with. That is called Music is Healing.
I actually did an interview with Patty Brooks when I was in Hollywood last year for the Legends of Music. She's a lovely lady, and she's got a lovely voice as well.
Oh God, she is. She's lovely. And then we had a little surprise, because when Preston sent me the demos to learn, there was a song. The song "Still Blessed" was on there, and his daughter, Jamia Burns, is her name. She did. I would sing a part in the song "Still Blessed," and she would answer. And Preston was going to actually think about using another artist, and I told him no. I said we have to keep Jamia. I said we got to keep Jamia in there. I said, to me, this is the most fantastic song ever. You know, and it's definitely the favorite of mine out of the whole CD. I love every single song, but that song sticks out. Yeah.
So what's
just fantastic?
So the type of music that's on the album, is it R&B, or is it like? Because I'm just going by the title there, Blessed. Is there some like slow gospel on there as well? Or
well, when you hear the song, it pertains to a lot of like a slow gospel. Yeah. But it's talking about me. It's not talking about. I do mention God in it, but it's still, when you hear the song, you're going to know exactly where I'm coming from with it. I played it. I actually, the last time, my aunt, who's very religious, and I played it for her. I said, it's not out yet, but I wanted you to hear the song. Well, she instantly started crying when she heard it. She said it just raised the hair on her arms right up, because it's one of those kind of songs.
Yeah.
And we have to all understand that we're not here forever. And as much as I do with my music, I feel like I'm still blessed.
Yeah, it's not very often tracks come along that do that to you, that have that sort of how can I put a hit on you when the head on the back of your neck stand up, or like you say on your arms. There's only been a few tracks in the past couple of years that I've went, oh my God, and I went, wow, and it's really hit you. So I'm looking forward to listening to those two tracks.
And I have to mention, we have a guy who has a song on the charts now in the UK. His name is Brandon Watts.
Brandon Watts, right? Yes.
Yeah, he just hit the charts in the UK. Tremendous young man. His career is going to go a long way. He's in his early 30s, and he ended up writing a song for me called "Stepping Out Tonight."
All right, yeah. Is that on the album as well?
Right, and that's on the album as well. As a matter of fact, it's the opening song on the album.
All right, yeah.
It's called "Stepping Out Tonight," and it was written by Brandon Watts, produced by Brandon and Preston.
Yeah. Preston's he's singing a lot of pies, hasn't he?
Yes, but he works with a lot of great people, and this kid's just upcoming, but I think he has, something, my all-time favorite entertainer right until today is Marvin Gaye.
Yes.
And
without doubt.
This kid, Brandon Watts, just the minute I first heard his CD, I was like, the comparison between him and Marvin is so fantastic.
Yeah.
And I told him, you're going to go a long way, man. This kid has just got so much great talent.
I'm going to have to keep a close eye on that guy, aren't I? I'm going to have to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, you got to. Believe me, to me, I think he's doing what goes on today, but you still can hear that stuff from the 70s.
Yeah.
Yes, you still can hear it in the 80s. I mean, this kid has a fantastic voice.
I might have to get in touch with him and get him interviewed in here, give himself some exposure, some more exposure. Have to do it.
Yeah, and Preston's the one that sets it up for all of us. The other song I was talking about, we did a song called "Love and Compassion."
Yeah.
That was a Freddie Parent, that was a Preston Glass production where he had different entertainers that sang on that album, and that song is also on my CD called "Love and Compassion."
It sounds like it's going to be a brilliant CD. It does. Actually, sounds like it's going to be a really, really good CD. I'm so nervous about it because normally I don't get like that. I just let everything flow. But I am so excited about this new CD that's coming out. I just think that it's going to, and the thing is, we have a lot of people to thank. David Nathan. David Nathan is actually from the UK. All right, yeah.
And we have a lot to thank. Yeah, we have a lot to thank.
US-UK collaboration.
That's right. He's a great guy, and we're looking forward to making some noise with this CD because I think it's a fantastic CD.
Well, from what I've heard so far of it, it is a good track. It is a good CD, and I'm going to get it definitely.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you hear them, you're going to say, Chubby is speaking the truth. I mean, everything just like blends right in with that. That whole CD is just a fantastic CD.
Right. Just a couple more quick ones. Have you got any solo tours coming up, or are you just touring with Tavares at this moment?
No, right now I'm still doing things with Tavares because I try not to mix my solo with with Tavares. You know, it's the same thing. Great. I have merchandise that I sell for Chubby Tavares. I don't like put it with Tavares. There's a lot of times I do shows with my brothers that I don't take my merchandise with me to sell. It's not. It's out of respect. Yeah, you know, I just wouldn't do that. But when my solo thing happens and I start doing shows, then I will bring my merchandise to be able to put it out there for people to buy it.
So do you have any solo tours coming up in the States?
Right now, I have a couple things that I'm planning on doing here I live in Florida. Right. So there's a lot of people who we have a lot of people, elderly people, like say, who are from the 70s era that are, some of them are well, some of them are not, but they want to hear that kind of music, like Smile. You know, they never had a guy to come up in that era to sing those kind of songs for them. So they're all looking forward to me going to these special events that I want to do for the elderly.
Well, you'll have to keep me in touch and get everything to me, all right? And I'll advertise to the hills for you. All right? No, there's no bother there. I'll advertise anything you want me to.
Yeah, but that would be great. I mean, that's what I would love to have, is to do a couple of tours in the UK on my own, you know, my own solo stuff.
Yeah. Talking about the UK, I know you touched on it earlier. So you'll be doing a UK tour with the Temptations and the Four Tops later on in the year. It's like November time, is that correct? Is that when the launch is?
The tour starts November 20th and goes through the 29th.
No, I've got a list of the dates somewhere, but I shall post that on the radio page and also my Facebook page for the people here in the UK to know. I know
we're at the O2.
The O2.
We'll definitely be at the O2, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Now, one thing I want to ask you, right? So you're doing the opening for the Temptations, and the Temptations running the Four Tops, or vice versa. Like, I went to a concert once, and we had those the Tramps, 3 Degrees, and How I Live in the Blue Notes, and they all did their own solo bits, and at the end, they all go on stage and sang together.
Oh,
can we expect that from you? Yeah. Can we expect that from you, or is that secret?
Well, I couldn't really tell you that because it all depends on the promoter. If the promoter thinks that we should do an encore, you know, a finale, they call it a grand finale.
Grand finale.
We would more than be happy to do it.
Because that would be phenomenal, that. But you'd be trying to think which track would you actually perform to. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm quite sure. But you know, what happens with the Four Tops and Temptations shows? One night the Four Tops close, the next night the Temptations close.
Temptations close. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it didn't matter if they did a song that the Temptations did that was a big hit, and they closed with that song, and they brought all the entertainers up to sing with them. It's great. Four Tops, the same thing. So each night it could be a different one.
Yeah.
I think it would be amazing.
Sorry. Oh, it would be brilliant. I think it would be absolutely brilliant. But I'm thinking back in my Motown collection, right? For some reason, all the Motown artists performed each other's tracks anyway. You will have I Can't Help Myself released by 4 or 5 different Motown artists.
Mm-hmm. You know, well, but Motown was a family. You know, you had different acts, and they were all from Motown.
Yeah.
So when you say the Motown factor, we were never a Motown group.
Oh no.
This is what I'm saying. But when you think about it and you say, "Wow, how is it that they're working with 2 Motown phenomenals?" But it's about the love and respect that we all have for each other. I'm saying that Otis Williams said, "Man, you guys are just fantastic, man. You come out there, you give the people what they want to hear."
Yes.
You know, and this is what it's all about. I mean, it's all about love and happiness.
Well, I think I think it's going to be a great tour because you're bringing two sides. You're bringing the 70s and the 60s together in one show. That's how.
And then I'm hoping by that time that everybody will be saying we want Chubby Tavares to come as a solo artist and do some stuff in the UK. I would love to go there and do a tour there. You know, we just got to get, you know, there. When you go there, you got to get the right promoter. You know.
Yeah. Well, here's one for you. Judy Cummings wants to come across as a solo artist. You want to come across as a solo artist. I have 3 or 4 other people who are members of bands who are now solo, and they want to come across as artists as well. So I think I should get my thinking cap on, see who I can get out so we find out who is a decent promoter in this country, and then try and put it together.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, Tavares, we have a band that plays with us when we're in the UK. They're a UK band, and it wouldn't take anything for them to learn
to do
some Chubby Tavares and throw in some Remember This and hit them with songs like Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, and it only takes a minute. It would just surprise to make a great, fantastic show.
See, well, I tried doing this a couple of years ago, but the logistics behind it is phenomenal. Because I had to organise hotels, flights, backing group, backing singers, because I couldn't fly everybody over. I could only pay for the flights for the actual artists, and then everything had to be UK based. And literally the logistics behind it is massive. I got halfway through it and my brake exploded. But I'm a bit more experienced now, so it's going to get started.
This is the thing about it. If you have a band that's already in that can back anybody up, that saves on a lot of overhead.
Yes.
You know, saves on airfares, it saves on a lot of hotels, you know what I'm saying? Because people live there. It's much easier when you got a band who is already there.
Or in that area of where you're going to be performing.
And Chubby Tavares would love to go out there and open the audience. It doesn't matter if I open for someone. I think that the experience of me going out and doing my own solo stuff that'll keep the world happening.
Yeah. Well, apart from the fact, I want you to fly to your first class. You know what I mean? I don't want you coming out strapped on the wing of a jet to holiday. You know what I mean? I want you to come across here.
Yeah, but you know something? That's my whole career. Business class doesn't mean anything to me. I get there the same time as everybody else.
Aye.
You know, that's not a big deal to me. I mean, we could save on that money doing something else. I don't look at, well, every time I got to fly, you've got to book me business class. That's not what it's all about. It's about going out there and presenting my music to people.
Yeah. Right. We've got a couple of more little questions for you before we say our farewells. It's actually just a general question, this. If you had any advice to anyone wanting to become a singer, what would it be?
Well, I gave Brandon Watts some advice, and I said, you know, Brandon, the voice that you have can be the most fantastic voice in the world, but you really got to love what you do. You know, it's a tough business today. This day and age, it's not an easy business to get into. But if you love it and you feel like this is your thing in life, you want to make other people happy, you've got to sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, Tavares have sacrificed a lot of years before they even became entertainers. But you got to want, and you've got to. When you go and you do it, you've got to let people see that you are supposed to be there. Yeah. You know, it's not an easy business. Young kids who are coming up today, they think that it's an easy business. It's not an easy business. Someone throws a gold chain around your neck and says, as easy as you got that gold chain, it's as easy as that you can lose that gold chain.
True.
You know, and this is what it's all about. Love what you do. Make people feel. My mom used to always tell me, if you have 400 people, or if you have 4,000 people, when you hit that stage, make those 4,000 people become one.
True, that's right. Yeah, I totally agree there. Totally agree with you. So, is there anything you'd like to add, including any shout-outs or messages or thank yous before we say our bye?
I would like to give you my contacts for Chubby Tavares.
Yep.
My website is chubbytavares.com. You can purchase CDs, shirts, hats, etc. Or go to my solo email, which is chubbytavares4@gmail.com. My business phone number is area code 954-627-4478. I have 2 Facebooks. One is Antone Tavares or Chubby Tavares. My Twitter, look for Chubby Tavares. Anything to do with Tavares, go to TavaresBrothers.com, and that would hook you up with our manager, David Oriola.
And do you not have a Facebook page for Tavares or not? No.
I don't have of that information. All I have is your website, and I have the website, which is TavaresBrothers.com.
Well, I'm sure everybody's going to be getting in touch now and wanting to know about and getting this new album of yours. I'm actually on air, and I'll be broadcasting most of the album as soon as I can.
And I want to thank the Soul Beat Chart, who this week has me at number 6 and climbing with Smile.
You're going to be number 1. It's going to go there.
I hope so.
Chubby, it's been great chatting with you. Next time,
it's been my pleasure.
We're not going to leave it 3 years, mate.
I'm hoping that I get to see you in November.
Yes. Well, what we'll do is we'll have a chat about that after we've finished the interview. And
that would be great. And listen, make sure you send me when you're done with this. You send that the interview to me at ChubbyTavares4@gmail.com.
I will do that for you, mate. Not a bother at all.
Okay, that would be great for me to get the interview.
Yeah. Well, we do that with all of our interviewees. We always give them a copy once it's been edited. What we normally do is we give them an edited copy and a unedited copy so you can have a laugh as well.
I appreciate it.
So,
once again, mate, Stephen, thank you. God bless you guys, and I want to bless Soul Beat for keeping up the good work to get Chubby Tavares hopefully to number 1.
Yeah, no hopes, mate. It's going to be there. It's going to be a definite.
And a shout out to my buddy Nigel Lowe.
All done. Right. Chubby, many thanks, mate. Stay on the line.
All right, thank you. I will.
And we'll have a quick chat. Once again, many thanks for joining me here on Soul Sensations. Cheers, Chubby. Many thanks,
you.
Mate. Cheers.
All right, thank you. Cheers.